Hi guys, welcome to the video. So we're at Picard Season 2, Episode 2. Talk about being smacked down. So in my last video, obviously, I was quite happy with what I saw. Thinking about it, it was a pretty decent episode of Star Trek Picard. Everything was optimistic. We seem to be in a better place than we were in Season 1. Now, I had some comments saying, people can't really understand why I think this is like Star Trek, or that episode that was more like Star Trek. What I actually meant by that is it was more like Star Trek than Season 1 of Star Trek Picard. It was pointing in the right direction. It was a little bit more optimistic. Now, this episode slams you straight back down. So they're going with the dark nihilism again. Q's made a change, obviously, at some point in the past. And the Star Trek universe has become totalitarian. Starfleet has become totalitarian, much in the same way as the Mirror universe, okay? I was happy to see Q back in the last episode. Now I'm not so happy. I'm going to give you a rundown of everything that happens in the episode, of course. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel and you like this content, hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. And the channel is continuing to grow, and I'm really happy about that. I do apologise if my energy seems a bit low. I am recovering from a cold, a pretty bad one to be fair. It was all in my head, so it's left me feeling a little bit bummed. But I will try and get through this video and try and give you the best rundown that I can of the episode, what I liked and what I didn't like. Okay, so there's a lot that I didn't like. I'm going to warn you now. This episode really does shift the mood, the great start we had, and it drops you straight on your face. Okay, so the episode opens and we are seeing Earth. It has a massive hexagonal shield around it that we saw in the trailer and in the end of the last episode. Picard is basically saying to Q, "What have you done, Q? I'm so sick of your bullshit. What have you done? I'm so old and tired." And he's an angry Q. He's very angry at Picard, and he's talking about the decisions that we've made, and he's viciously angry. I mean, the guy's full of rage. It's almost like disappointment, because Q's made one change and it's turned the entire Federation into this xenophobic hotbed of bullshit, which is what it was in the first season, but in a different way. Now, it's not the Federation in this timeline, it's the Confederation, of course. So we've got to, basically speak to modern day politics as if, one side is great and one side is bad. Absolute cocking bullshit. Absolutely fucking stupid. Q's basically saying that, here you are a bad man, and the universe is a bad place because you're so bad. And Picard's going, I've had enough of your bullshit, Q. Stop these stupid games. I'm too old, and I'm gonna get very cross with you. And Q gets angry at Picard and fucking hits him. He fucking hits Jean-Luc Picard. Bang round the fucking face. Are you kidding me? Gives Picard a nosebleed. You impetulant person. You're not that perfect. You're not that brilliant. You've created all this because you made a decision at some point in your life that was different to the one you actually fucking made. So don't go all high and mighty with me. Fucking Q never hit anyone. He got punched by Cisco once, and that was funny because he turned around and said, "You hit me. Picard never hit me." And he's like, "You've just hit Picard. You've just hit this old man in the face. What the actual cock is going on?" Picard's a bad man. He's a bad general. He's General Picard. He's got Romulan servants, and he's actually got Romulan servants at this point. And they're scrubbing the floor and they're scared of him and whatnot. Picard's still got his bloody nosebleed. Q basically just says, I'm going to take you on a little tour of your chateau, okay? So he shows him his I don't know, fucking banquet of bollocks. Display room for all the weapons that he's taken and all the... You see Klingon disruptors, Klingon knives, and you see a skull of a Ferengi, okay? A Ferengi skull, which, I mean, we've never seen a Ferengi skull before, at least as far as I know, we haven't. There's a skull. There's a Borg skull there as well. God knows who that was. There's several sort of different kind of species skulls. And there's a Cardassian one, which we later find out is Gul fucking Dukat. Picard has got Gul Dukat's head on a fucking spike. His skull is there. It's Gul Dukat. And as if that weren't bad enough, Dukat's skull on a spike. Yeah, you have General Martok from DS9, whose skull is also there on a fucking spike. General fucking Martok. Are you kidding me? My wife went fucking nuts when she heard that. She absolutely loves Martok. She thinks that Martok's one of the great Klingon characters, and I agree with her. He's a fantastic character, but no, in this dystopian nightmare, Martok's head is on a fucking spike. Unbelievable. The Q's basically saying, look, you did this, you totalitarian dickhead. Here's a picture of your warship. Everything that you aspire to be, you're a military bastard, basically. And this is a result of one change in your timeline. This is your trial coming into fruition. And Q disappears. Picard's going through here, some of the speeches are made, and he's like, the only galaxy is a human galaxy. And he's a member of the Confederation, and I fucking face palmed at that moment. I thought the Confederation. Oh, what the fucking hell is going on here? And he's a fucking power hungry dictator, okay? And Picard's facial expression matched mine at this point. I thought, oh come on. Anyway, the android dude brings him a drink. I think Picard's expecting it to be tea, Grey hot, but he goes, what is this? It's fucking coffee, okay? Picard's disgusted that he's been brought coffee instead of tea. He realises he's got to go for a meeting with the president of the Confederation. Fuck's sake. You ever wanted to see a Star Trek fan disheartened? Here it is. So you got bleak dystopian San Francisco, and 7 of 9 wakes up in her apartment. We saw this in the trailer as well in my previous video, and it turns out she's not got her Borg implants anymore, and she can't understand why. She's married. Similar sort of ring to mine, to be fair. Hey, who knew? Runs her own self-diagnosis, I suppose, biological, because she's not got any Borg implants. She writes an equation on the mirror, sniffs things and smells things. She's thinking she's thinking that she's dreaming. She's not actually dreaming, it's real. Her husband walks in. She's married to I don't know, Sergeant fucking dickhead. And she turns out she's the fucking president of the Confederation, okay? She's the almighty fucking ruler. And, I mean, to be fair, the cast did an okay job. The writing, was alright. It would appear that the main characters are in this world. They all remember the other world. They're not in that universe, per se. They have the memories of the old universe, the old timeline. 7, she realises that her counterpart knows Rios, Chris Rios, okay? The Captain Rios. It's the Confederation. Without alerting anyone to the fact that she knows she knows this other timeline, she gets in touch with Rios, who is back on his old ship, the Lost Serena. Fuck knows what it is. The Lost Serena, I'm just going to call it that. And he has no fucking clue what's going on. They're attacking Vulcans, and they don't know. He doesn't know why. And he gets a call from 7, and they have this sort of back and forth where they say, where they're sort of play acting because 7 doesn't know that whether or not Rios remembers what's going on or whether she's talking to the other Rios, totalitarian dickhead Rios. I don't know. Anyway, they surmise that they both know what's going on. Everyone's speaking code, And she says, look, you know, get your ass to Earth because something's going on. And he sets a course for Earth. And then you hit Okinawa, a building blows up, and there's loads of Romulan insurgents. Elnor's there, and he's watching all of these buildings blow up, and it would appear that, you know, for each explosion, the rebels are citing the names of all the species that Earth has conquered. They say that the Earth is conquering all the warlike species. So Elnor gets sort of captured, I suppose, by these bunch of Gestapo officers, I suppose you could call them. Turns out Raffi's there, and she's the general commander of the forces, I suppose. Again, she play acts, saves Elnor from execution, saying that she needs to question him. She escorts him out of there, and we cut away to President 7 of 9, Annika Hansen, because she was never 7 of 9, she's Annika Hansen. She gets told Picard's on his way, and Jurati is working in the lab. There's Jurati, and she's got a pet cat. She's called Spot. And she's trying to figure out what's going on. She says, am I going nuts? And I thought, yes, you are. You're clearly nuts. And 7 comes in. She calls her 7. Oops, I shouldn't have done that. And she plays it off like they were old friends and everything and whatnot. We get introduced, of course, to the Borg Queen. The Borg Queen is here, but she's not the Borg Queen from the universe we know. She's the Borg Queen from this universe. But it turns out the Borg Queen is aware of other times and realities, and instinctively aware, which never really came up in Star Trek other than in season 1 of Picard. It may have come up at some point, but yeah, they're not. She's aware that changes have been made. Okay, they realise the Borg in this timeline they've been basically eradicated by the Federation. Picard arrives at the Confederation headquarters. I can't believe I'm saying the word Confederation so many times. Elnor's been dragged there in front, and he's like, that man is mine, leave him alone. Stamps his authority, and him, Elnor, Raffi, they end up in Jurati's lab. Jurati's like, hey guys, hi everybody, what the hell's going on? Picard sees the Borg Queen and bat shits himself. Of course, why wouldn't he? And they realise that the Borg Queen, they've got to try and travel back in time. And again, this was referenced in the trailer, but they don't have anyone who can do the complex calculations. They referenced the fact that Kirk did it, and Kirk had Spock, and Spock isn't there, obviously. So they need the Borg Queen to be able to go back in time. Borg Queen agrees because she doesn't like what's happening in this time. She wants to go back to the collective. Rios is in orbit. They've got to try and get all of them out there, so they start beaming up, but their shields go up and the transport is stopped. All of the palace, they call it a palace security comes online because it's Execution Day or Eradication Day, where we eradicate the species of choice. It goes to show that, you know, humans are all powerful. The Confederation is all powerful and xenophobic and racist, apparently. So they realise they can't beam out, and they have to go. Picard and 7 have to go to the big arena type place to execute the Borg Queen. So Jurati's going to work on cutting through communications, and Raffi's going to try and get the shield down in the background. So there's a bit of a speech that 7's giving, a couple of references made. I've lost interest at that point. I'm really, really disappointed. And the Borg Queen pops up, and the crowd are cheering. Picard's going to execute her. Raffi and Elnor are down in the basement. Say the basement, probably the shield control center or whatever. You know, Raffi says, "Oh, you know, this Romulan planted a virus in, and I've got to get it out." So she starts working on getting out, and really, she's getting the shields down. Elnor's getting a bit of a kicking. Raffi just says, "Go on, take him out, Elnor." He does, and one of them throws a ninja star, or something that looks like a ninja star, at Elnor. Elnor dodges it, goes into one of the officers, and Elnor just goes around cutting people's throats. Which I thought was a trifle unnecessary, really. But he just turns into Assassin Killer again. This guy's a Starfleet cadet, by the way. This guy's become a Starfleet cadet. And Raffi's just like, really? And he goes, Picard told me to improvise. And she goes, now you're just showing off. Like, look, even if It's a totalitarian dictatorship and everybody's bad. Is it really necessary to have that kind of graphical violence? I mean, Star Trek's always flirted with the line, but nutrek just goes one step too fucking far again. So Elnor's killed all the guards in a vicious style, and it's a big tense scene, big tense moment where, you know, Jurati's got to sort out communications, get the, you know, lock on people, and Raffi gets the shield down, and it's all down to Jurati. Picard's about to have to be executing the poor queen. The crowd start booing because it's been too long. And then Picard just decides to start firing at all the guards instead. Everyone gets beamed out in the nick of time. It's the usual trope of Star Trek, I know. And they hook the Borg Queen up to the ship. They're going to try and slingshot around the sun to time travel. 709's douchebag husband from this universe beams aboard with a security guard. That's where the episode ends, with 709's husband going to Picard. I wonder what we'll put on your headstone. Jean-Luc Picard, traitor. So that's the brief rundown of the episode. What did I think of it? Well, I've got to say, I am absolutely fucking fuming. I am. You had a pretty good start with one episode, and I knew it would be one episode, and I did say in my last video, for all the people going, oh, don't be fooled, I did say it in my last video. I wasn't fooled. It was a good episode. If you bookended that episode, that was pretty good. Okay, it was not perfect, and it wasn't Star Trek, but it felt like it could be, and it felt more like Star Trek than season 1 of Picard. I know it's going to get worse, or I think it's going to get worse, and the first 5 minutes of this episode, it proved to me just how bad it could get. Q hits Jean-Luc Picard. Hits him. Like, proper smacks him. Why? So clearly Q's going insane, or Picard thinks Q's going insane. Jean Delancey, he does a good job, but he's out of character for Q. Whenever Q got angry, you knew, but he doesn't need to resort to physical fucking... His presence, his omnipotence was his power. And it was the source of people's reluctance to piss him off. But instead he just fucking hits him. It's fucking disgusting. And then having the heads of characters that you grew up with on a fucking stick. The skulls pissed me off. I assume they're going to time travel at some point, so we won't see the dystopian future. But they're time traveling apparently to 2024, which just happens to be the date of the next election. US presidential election. I'm fairly certain. 2016, 2020. Yeah, it's every 4 years. So it's going to be them going back in time to 2024, and there'll be one decision that was made, and it'll be a political decision, I imagine, and it will turn the tide. I don't like to get massively political on this channel. Picard's going to force it in that direction. I know this show's going to do it. And I'm going to try and stay as balanced as I can. You know, you've got absolute fucking nut jobs on the left. You've got absolutely fucking nut jobs on the right. I love Star Trek, and I love the way it gives a little bit of perspective to things. But this is just downright in your fucking face. And I absolutely cringed. I cringed so much. So disappointing. But, you know, I think I would have been less angry if Q hadn't have hit Picard. There's not Q. Maybe it's 25% different Kurtzman Q. I don't know. But all my fears have been realised, I think, now. And I'm leaving this review low. Feeling pretty shit after seeing this episode. Don't get me wrong, there were some bits that I liked, some bits that I thought, that's all right. But they were so few and far between. The memorable stuff is the fucking fan trauma of seeing Q strike Picard and give him a bloody nose. I mean, you know, there was the thing in Q Who where he says, if you can't take a little bloody nose, then why don't you go and crawl back under your beds? It's dangerous out here. It's like, yes, okay, but the situation that Q put the Enterprise in was a lesson. Q never actually resorted to violence. He put them in a dangerous situation to show Picard, to try and humble Picard, to say, look, you aren't ready for what's out there. And now this Q resorts to physical violence. I'm just absolutely gobsmacked. So that's my breakdown of Picard Season 2, Episode 2. I probably missed a whole bunch of shit. To be quite honest with you, I don't want to go back and rewatch it just to see what I missed. That's a basic overview of what happens. I'm not best pleased. I'm not really feeling good. I certainly don't have the same vibe that I got from the first episode of Season 2. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, then please consider subscribing to the channel. I'll be making a lot more videos like this. I will keep going. This channel will keep going. So thank you very much for watching. Have a great weekend, and I will see you in the next video. Look after yourselves. Take care. Bye-bye for now.
I need the silence, stop the violence of the war in my head. Time's the healer, the eraser of all done and said. And as I fall back to my shelter, I know I'll